Phase 2 of Stony Point Rising focuses on Letchworth Village. The town and developer like to lump it in with the golf course, but they're two distinct entities and are zoned differently. So let's take a look at this video.
We're hearing a lot of static from the town board these days about the buildings at Letchworth Village. They say the buildings are decrepit, that they have no value and they should be torn down. Well, let's cut through the static and get to the facts. 6 out of 10 of these so-called decrepit buildings are currently in use. There's Kirkbride Hall in the Row Building, a gathering place for young and old and the site of countless community meetings. The Patriot Hills Restaurant Catering Hall and the Cornell Cooperative Extension. And even the town court is here. Now, if all of these buildings are as decrepit as the town board claims, then why are they filled with people every day? Why haven't they been condemned? The fact is, there's nothing wrong with these buildings that some maintenance and repair couldn't fix, and the town has the money to do it. Because here's another fact. By deferring maintenance on these buildings, the town has amassed a $5 million surplus. So why not do what other river towns have done and use that $5 million to repurpose our older buildings? Why should towns like Cold Spring and Beacon get all the tourists and new businesses, when we have Patriot Hills, one of the top 16 golf courses in New York State? We have the Hudson River, the Stony Point Battlefield. We're the gateway to Bear Mountain and Harriman State Park, and we have Letchworth Village. Maybe the only thing we're missing is a little imagination. So the next time you start hearing static from our local politicians about Letchworth Village, just remember the facts. Let's not sell off our assets and our future.
So in addition to the spin that the buildings are decrepit and falling down, the developer has been making another false claim. He's going to save us $800,000 over 5 years on maintenance for the Letchworth buildings. This is a whopper. First, he leaves out that we'll continue paying maintenance for Kirkbride Hall. He omits the cost of maintaining the row building until the new one is built, and he has 7 years to do that. He also omits the maintenance costs we'll be paying on the new replacement row building. And then there's the town court. Conveniently left out of his savings claim is the cost of building, buying, or leasing a new town court. If the town court stays on the property for the first 2 years, we'll continue to pay maintenance. If we stay beyond 2 years, we pay the developer $9,000 a month. That's $108,000 per year. I can't imagine how he gets to claim he's saving us money, but that seems to be the pattern. Fuzzy math, misleading statements, and outright falsehoods. Part of our plan for revitalizing Letchworth Village comes from the Miller-Turner Consulting Study in 2014. It recommends, and it recommended, that we subdivided the property so that each building would be on its own lot. This would give us many more options for developing the property. So the plan to subdivide each building onto its own lot allows us to sell buildings, one building or two buildings, rather than having to sell the entire property. Some businessman would not want to deal with all 24 acres and all the 10 buildings, but he would take on an individual building. We also understand that some buildings are too far gone to stay and they need to be removed. We'll prioritize which buildings need to go, but the row building will be our top priority to renovate. None of this will happen overnight. It'll take 5 to 7 years. But in the end, we'll be in control of what goes forward, how it gets done, and we'll own it. We also want to create recreational facilities. And once again, we're going back to the original plan for the Letchworth property. Of course, there can be walking and biking paths, farmers markets, skate park. The sky's the limit. One option is to create a teen center where teens can get together and interact with each other in a safe and supervised environment. Another option might be an outdoor amphitheater where we could get involved with all kinds of concerts and theater and movie nights, and we could actually generate some sponsors and bring revenue to the town. So how are we going to pay for all this? First and foremost is to use the $300,000 to $500,000 we get from Patriot Hills Golf Course and the $150,000 to $250,000 we get from the catering hall. We can also use a portion of our $5 million budget surplus. Third, we create a Stony Point Rising Fund. All that entails is keeping the budget for Patriot Hills at the level it's at in 2022. That will generate up to $600,000 for projects in the Letchworth plan and not raise taxes. And finally, we'll use every bit of the state, federal, county, and private funds that we can get to. So let's let the panel add some comments and discuss.